Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A. and today I'm going to do a very special show about Color Me Beautiful. Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A. and today I thought I would do a follow-up to a video I did back in 2015. It was all about Color Me Beautiful and color analysis. I've noticed in the last year or so there has been a huge resurgence in interest in color analysis, and there's so many new companies and new systems out there. They've modified the original system and they've created actually quite scientific approach to finding the best colors to make you look your most radiant, your healthiest, and help you organize your closet a little bit better, shop smarter, and make sure that all the stuff that you purchase will look nice on you. So, where do I begin?
Every season, Mother Nature paints the earth in a different palette of colors. In a way, the 4 seasons are nature's greatest color harmony lesson. Our modern-day color analysis begins with this lady. Her name is Susan Cagill, and she'd originally studied color theory and then used that for her work as an interior decorator and a dress designer. She often made personal palettes for her rich Hollywood wife and actress clients. Susan was an assistant to Edith Head, who is probably one of the greatest costume and gown designers that Hollywood has ever seen. She divided colors into warm and cool tones and then again divided them into seasonal colors. She had a television show in the 1950s called Life with Suzanne. She used it as a showcase for her color theory as well as self-improvement tips for women of the day. She had written a book called Color, The Essence of You, in which she describes various types of women. The auburn autumn, the dashing pewter autumn, the zestful autumn, the magnetic autumn, the dynamic, prismatic winter, patrician winter, vivacious, and the patrician winter silver serene, the tulip vivacious spring, the vital spring enthusiastic, and the talisman rose spring enchanting, the summer orchid feminine, and the intuitive violet summer. Her theories caught on, and that very same year, 1980, that she released the book, Carol Jackson released a book called Color Me Beautiful. This book was loosely based on Susan's original color seasonal theories, but it was awfully colorful, easy to read, and became a New York Times bestseller. A new generation of color analysts were trained, and classes began all over the country. People were draped in colors and found out what their true season was and what their palette of colors would be that they could shop with. At the end of their class, they were given a wallet that included all these little swatches of colors that they could take with them shopping. So what's all the fuss about? Let's explain some of the seasons. Spring has bright, radiant colors with no darkness or shadows. The yellow of sunshine graces the fresh flowers in bloom. The spring woman has golden highlights and a creamy ivory, peach, or golden brown complexion. She has blonde or light brown hair with golden highlights. Summer colors are muted with blue undertones, late summer blossoms, a frothy ocean, white beaches, seafoam green, and powder pinks and blues. The summer woman has brown or ash blonde hair and has pink undertones to her skin color. Autumn's colors are earthy and rich, and they're golden hued, just like the autumn leaves that fall. There's pumpkin and rust and lots of golden colors, and even teal. Now the autumn woman will have red or auburn hair and a freckled complexion, either light or coppery colored. Winter colors are clear and icy. Pine-colored trees, stark white snow with pops of bright berries, or colorful poinsettias. The winter woman has black or dark brown hair with very milky white skin, or olive skin, or gray beige skin, and some have black skin with a blue undertone. Armed with all this new information, women began to see incredible transformations in how they looked. You can see if you're wearing the wrong color and if you're wearing the right color, how different it can make you look to the world. It's a small change, but it's huge. Everybody, it seemed, was an expert on the color charts, and armed with their own particular season, they could go out shopping, and they could save money, and they could drive the retailers crazy. Now, of course, fashion has always been guided by seasonal colors, but when you had your own palette, you ignored these kinds of things, and you started to take notice of some of the celebrities wearing colors that were not proper for their particular season. It was very empowering and life-changing. Well, new Color Me Beautiful books came out, especially for the guys. We couldn't forget that men needed their colors done too. We needed to know what seasons our husbands were. And women of color had very interesting multiracial issues. They weren't just autumns and winters, and so a special book was written for women of color. And of course, old ladies needed something too. All of us who were over 40 needed something, and then they started to branch off. A lot of the original color analysts branched off and started their own separate principles. Fashion designers jumped on board, therapists jumped on board, and some people jumped on board and recreated the entire system so that it would work, of course, with their color swatch patterns. Color Me Beautiful itself reinvented itself and got more into the fashion end of it, and it was very popular over in the UK and in other countries. Makeup was introduced in 1999, and they still have makeup available on their website, which is colormebeautiful.com. And of course, there are several makeup books to go along with that. And the Color Me Beautiful original books have been rewritten and updated to include additional divisions of the 4 seasons, to include all those subtle differences within the season. There are now 12 divisions rather than just 4. So all of us who are still getting draped to this day owe all of this empowerment and all of this wonderful color to this wonderful woman, Susan K. Gill.
So there it is. You feel educated? So like the film said, we owe a lot to color theory and American dress designers. However, in Europe, they claim that back in the Bauhaus in the 1930s, the artists collected there had formed different seasonal color groupings to enhance their paintings. And so despite what the beginnings are of this, the idea of color theory and the fact that these things are used in art is where the whole thing started. And you can actually use these seasonal colors if you are a knitter or a painter yourself. You can use the theories and the groupings of the colors, so when you paint something, you know that all of the colors will blend together naturally and make a more realistic look. If you are painting something, there won't be clashes of different undertones getting in the way of the painting looking really pulled together and alive. Now, speaking of paintings, Let me show you about what around the face of a painting will do to enhance its appearance. So this painting is a little Georgia homestead. And if you notice, the mat around the edge is a light, warm green. And it brings out all of the warm characteristics of the painting. If you had a different color mat, it probably wouldn't be as effective as this beautiful green mat does. So, like the framed photograph, your framed photograph is your face. And if you think of this as a portrait and you want to bring out the best colors and feeling of the portrait, you want your face to look as best as possible, what is surrounding that is extremely important. Now, this is kind of the idea behind the Color Me Beautiful systems. You want everything that's around your face to make sure it pulls all the best colors and features out of the face so that you're brought to your best look using clothing and using makeup and using eyeglasses and hats and your hair color. Everything pulls together like a mat around a painting to create your best look. Now, I had my colors done back in 1985. I was really into New Wave. It was a really fun time. I was living in Los Angeles. I used to color my hair different colors every month. Purple, blue, platinum blonde, black. I just tried everything. And I loved experimenting with makeup. So when my friends were saying there's this new thing called getting your colors done, and if we go as a group it's cheaper, and I thought, oh, I'll try that. It sounded a little constricting, because I was like, I'm going to buy what I want, wear what I want, and anything goes. I was really fashion forward, and I was really dumb about what actually looked good on me. The idea of a color analysis was that you could see that certain colors looked really good on you and brought out your natural beauty, while other colors kind of made you look pasty or sick, or it made your face look patchy or your eyes look yellow, and it didn't really bring out your natural beauty because of the coloring in it. And it is a scientific thing where it works with your skin color, your eye color, your hair color, and your undertone. There's also a new thing that they have added to it that I've found really fascinating, and it's contrast. Let's go over that first, because that's something, if you take nothing else away from this today, contrast is something you should know about. Contrast is the difference between the lightest part of a design and the darkest part of a design. So when you're looking at a human face, the contrast would be the darkest feature versus the lightest feature. There is a scale of 1 to 10 of the lightness to the darkness, and you look at the lightest point on your face and you assign it a number on that scale that matches that exact number. Then you look at the darkest point on your face. Is it your pupils? Is it your mouth? Is it your hair? And try to find the contrast of that on the scale. And then subtract one number from the other, and that is your contrast score. So the first thing you have to do is take a selfie of yourself, preferably with no makeup on, because we want an honest assessment of your actual face and hair. Now turn that color photograph into a black and white one. There's usually a filter right on your phone to make a photograph black and white. Now that will help you assess whether you've got really dark points on your face and really light points on your face. Now, if there's only about 3 points or less between the two, between the darkest feature on your face and the lightest feature on your face, then you're considered a low contrast person. And if you have a very high difference between your hair or your eyebrows or your pupils of your eyes or your mouth and the whiteness of your skin, if there's a lot of difference in the number there and it's a higher number, then you are a high contrast person. This will actually help you in determining the correct seasonal palette for you. Contrast plays an important role in selecting your garments because when you're shopping, if you see designs and prints on your clothing, you need to match the level of contrast with your level of contrast so that the garment does not overpower you with too much design and enters the room before you do. Again, with pattern like this, for instance, this has white in it, which I can't wear, and has black in it, which I can't wear. But this is not what you see. When you see this shirt, you see the melon color, you see the red, you see the gold and yellow. So this actually is very flattering on. So I see those colors in it, even though there is black and white. So you can have some things in your wardrobe that are outside of your color wardrobe, so to speak. So now if I look at this particular frame around me, you'll see that it's not really as sprightly or as nice as this frame. This frame brings out more of my natural beauty than the black frame. Let me just see if I can do this. This is bizarre, I know. Here we go. So when I take off the color that's not right, the color that works for me will make my face look nicer. Let's try that again. So, how are you framing your face, your work of art? Now, what about hair color? This is my color. Of course, I color my hair. And when you are coloring your hair or wearing a wig or buying a wig, consider buying something that has a golden tone to it if you are a warm tone person. If you are a cool tone person, you're going to want to go with ashier colors or colors that do not have golden undertones to them. Now, I've worn this many times in the past because I thought ash would be good, but actually when I wear it, I don't look as sprightly as I do when I wear something this color. So, so it's something to consider with hair color as well. Also, around this portrait art that you want to present to people, up here, your hair color should reflect the cool tones or the warm tones of your color season. And like when I use my own color as a hat, it helps continue that really cohesive look that I'm working on. I have a bun up in the back, so it's holding the hat up. So, the hat, what is that reflecting of? So you can buy hats, coats, scarves in your color family, and they will reflect up the right amount of perfect lighting for you. So the first question was, are you warm or are you cool? You can put, you can look at the veins in your arm, but I have purple and blue and maybe one green. This is not an accurate way to tell your color season. And those are the two things they tell you to do. They tell you to, put your hand against a white piece of paper and see if it's kind of yellowish or if it's pinkish. And then they want you to turn around and look at the veins here, underside of your arm, and see if they're blue, purple, or if they're green. And that's not accurate either, really. You really need to do a draping to see what clothes fit you. And if you don't even want to categorize yourself as a season, at least you'll know in your own closet which clothes look great on you and which clothes, meh. Second question is your skin really light or really deep colored? And my skin is light to medium. I'm probably around a 7 on the 6-7. 6-7. No, I'm like 7, between 7 and 8 actually. On the scale of lightness, light skin to deep skin. And then the third question is, what is your chroma or your value? That's that contrast thing. Are you high contrast or are you low contrast? Or are you medium contrast? You're right in the middle. And I assure you, after you answer those 3 questions, you're going to be on your way to finding the perfect sub-season that you fit into. Now, when you are a soft, they call it a soft or a low contrast person. You can be a soft summer if you lean towards the cooler side. You can be a soft autumn if you lean towards the warmer side. You can also be a high contrast person, and you can wear the bold colors of bright, clear spring. The high contrast people can wear bold and deep colors and bright colors and clear colors. Those are the bolder, high contrast people. So that kind of, and each season has some variant of a bold, a subtle, and a bright, or really warm or really cool. So those 3 questions, are you warm or are you cool? How light or dark is your skin? And then what's your contrast level? Those 3 questions will give you where you fall on that 12 season system, because each season has a version of low or high contrast, bold, really cool or really warm, and really light or really deep. You can find yourself in any of those 12 sub-seasons that way. And each of those sub-seasons has plenty of colors associated with it. So just like plain old summer, true summer, has all of a million colors here, I don't feel deprived at all of colors. And the only thing I really don't have here, there's no oranges. There's no oranges or bright yellows, there's no mustards, and that's a good thing. There's certain attributes to each season, and I want to show you how I found out what my season was. Now what they do is they will drape you like this, and then they'll just kind of look at you from all angles. Is it bringing out the lines under your eyes, the shadows under your face? Is it really doing anything for you? Are you looking at this rather than my face? Does everything seem to harmonize? And then they put this. Now, do you look at me as a whole harmony unit, or do you just look at this, or are you looking at my face more? Are my eyes bluer? Does my skin look healthier? Now, it doesn't cost much at all to do a warm or cool color draping. It doesn't cost anything at all. You can actually go right to your closet. If you have anything that's gold colored or light orange colored, that is the perfect way to tell if you are warm toned or not. You can also go to like Dollar Tree or some inexpensive store. These are pillowcases. You can also buy a piece of fabric that's gold. But these are pillowcases from the Dollar Tree. They cost $1.25. And this particular one, you can see right away that it's kind of reflecting up a yellowish tone onto my skin. Now, is that flattering? Is that flattering for me or not? It's hard to tell right away when you're wearing something, but after a while you'll spot it instantly whether or not it's bringing out your best features or it's making you look a little bit flat, a little bit sickly, a little yellowish, a little jaundiced. So the other pillowcase you can also get at Dollar Tree is a silver one. You can also use a dark gray if you have it in your closet. Now, is that showing off my skin a little better? Do my eyes shine a little bit better? It's a great test for telling if you're warmer or cooler. If you want to know the right season for yourself, you need to know the basics. And the basics are you warmer or are you cooler? And this is cooler. It's putting a blue light, a cool or a blue light up on my face. Is it making me look more alive? Is my skin nice color? Is it putting a lot of texture on my skin? Do I look tired? Or do I look pretty and my skin looks cohesive? It's going with my hair, it's going with the side of my face. Everything looks natural. My eyes are the big tell here because my eyes should sparkle. You should be looking up here at this face, which is the portrait. Back to gold or yellow or salmon. Does it look as pulled together? Does it look as cohesive? There's my word for today. That's a drinking game word. So with that in mind, you can find the answer to are you warm or are you cool? Okay, do this with every piece of fabric in your house and in your closet. You can sort through your clothes easily this way, and also might as well try them on while you're going through the draping, because then you can kill two birds with one stone. What an awful expression that is. My goodness. Now, when I was draping all of my clothes, I actually draped everything that was fabric in my house, like a blanket. I wanted to see what that looked like. It's high contrast and the wrong color. Double whammy here. I did all the shirts and all of the trousers and even all of my scarves. I did them all so that I could see how it reflected up on my face. And I found favorites in my closet that way. And that's what you want to really pull, is all the things that make you look good and put them in their own section in your closet. The things that aren't in your season, you know, you can work with them with scarves and with things like that for a while, but the thing I would say to invest in is tops. Tops are what people see around your face the most. You can still wear your black trousers in winter. You can still wear your white trousers in summer, but wear the proper color top for your season. Now this is a pair of pants. It's a pair of pants, but when you drape them, they become a fabric color. So you can see if this color looks good on you. And you could kind of see, get an idea of what colors are going to work with your coloring. This is like a medium deep gray, and it's a beautiful neutral. They happen to be my trousers, so that's nice. I'm keeping them, they fit me. So that's a good way to try on all of your clothes without knowing anything about color theory or all that other stuff or all of those sub-seasons and things like that, and I will go through those. I'd like to talk to you about draping things from your closet for real. Every piece of fabric in your house, including your scarves, your pillowcases, your bedspreads, your blankets, nightgowns, your coats. Take a picture of everything in natural lighting from the window. Get in front of a window. Don't use unnatural light. Get in front of a window, and as quickly as possible, just try everything on so you're in kind of the same light, and see how it reacts. See what's reflecting up onto your face, and if it's doing anything positive for you. If it looks like it works with you. Also, look at the designs and the patterns. Are they really strong designs? Are you a really high contrast person? Now when you are wearing your colors, everything looks pulled together. You look your best. You look refreshed, healthy, glowing, eyes bright, healthy. It's just a picture of excellence. Your accessories, if they match the color spectrum that you're in, like handbags. This is an interesting one. It's color, it's kind of a, it changes color with the light. Isn't that neat? That's a handbag too. That's a carrier bag. The scarves you wear, can make a difference. And I know a lot of times in winter coats you just grab whatever coat you have. You don't care if it's a black coat or brown coat, because black and brown is kind of like in winter. Well, you could pay a little more attention to that and make it a nice light gray coat or a maroon coat. You can actually stay within your colors in no matter what season you're in. You can find your colors in that physical season. So this is a scarf, and it's got all my seasons in it, so I can put that. If I'm wearing a black jacket or black coat, I can put my seasonal scarf on. and that will help me kind of balance out the bad season that I'm wearing that doesn't help me. This will help me. So again, you want to know what's up in here. And a lot of people forget about their eyeglasses. When in doubt, you can wear clear glass frames because they're not going to interfere with your season. And you can get them in different shapes. You can get the frames in different shapes. So you can get one of those 5-pack of readers, you know, from Amazon or wherever, but get them in colors that will complement your season. And when in doubt, just get clear ones, because clear ones never fail. It's just a matter of the shape of the frame that can change things for you. So if you stay within your colors, it's far more complimentary than wearing a black frame glass. Black frames really don't do justice to your face. They're very stark and they bring attention to probably all the wrong things on your face. But it's really fun to put things together now that I am sure that I am a summer season. Beautiful scarf. So you can see that the proper thing does to my season. Now some of you naysayers say, I'm not going to block myself into a season, it's all ridiculous. So for you folks, what I'll tell you is you can wear, there's 4 colors that look good on everyone. There are 4 colors that look good on everybody. So if you don't want to bother with all the seasonal stuff, at least get these 4 colors into your wardrobe. And the first one is like navy. This is a dark wash denim, so it's kind of like my navy. It's a beautiful color. Navy looks good on every season. So if you have navy in your wardrobe, you're going to be all right. The next color, teal. Teal is a color that looks good on everyone. And there is a teal in every seasonal palette. And it's definitely something that looks nice on everyone. So that's your second color that everybody can wear. The third color is purple. You can wear purple in every season. Some slight varieties there. Some are deeper, some are lighter, some are a little bit brighter, some are a little bit more blue toned. But you can wear purple and it'll look fabulous on you. And the last color, it was the hardest for me to find until I got my fan. This is watermelon. Watermelon is kind of a pinky red color and it looks good on everybody. And I was really surprised to find that I have a lipstick that is watermelon as well, and that is Soft Silver Rose in the Revlon lipsticks, and that looks good on everybody too. So those are the 4 colors that look good on everybody. Navy, teal, purple, and watermelon. So if you have those 4 colors, you've got a really good start to your wardrobe. As blouses, they will make you look very nice. They're like a neutral kind of color that looks good on everybody. You really need to determine your season first. So you need to ask yourself 3 questions. Are you warm or are you cool? The second question, are you light or are you deep? And the third question, are you high contrast or low contrast? First, we have to decide about the division of the 4 seasons. We're starting with the 4 main seasons because this was the original Color Me Beautiful system. We had spring in the upper right, that's light and warm, and just below it, warm and deep autumn. And then we have winter, which is deep and cool. And then we have summer at the upper left with cool and light. Now, those are the two questions you ask when you're going to be dealing with the 4 main seasons. Now, to help you determine whether you are a cool tone person or a warm tone person, you can first look at your eyes and compare your iris with these charts. I have a cool tone eye chart and a warm tone eye chart, and these will help you find your eye type. If you have cool tone eyes, move on to the next, which is your on the inside of your arm. You should have some large, very prominent veins of a certain color, and if they are greenish in color mostly, you would probably be a warm toned person. If they are bluish toned or purpley toned, you would be a cool toned person. If you have a combination of all of them, that makes this test not so accurate for you, and you would probably be neutral, or you have to find your color tone from another source. We do have skin tones that are warm, neutral, or cool, and you would know this from the makeup that you purchase, whether you get warm tone makeup or cool tone makeup. That's a great hint. And here's a chart of faces for you. The last thing that you can check is your hair. Is it ash tone, grayish, or is it warm tone, reddish with golden highlights? And here's a hair chart that will help you with that. This all is in addition to draping, gold and silver, and also cool tone colors, fabrics against other warm tone color fabrics. And you should be able to find your season. Now, for the main 4 seasons, you need to ask yourself just 2 questions. 1, are you warm or cool? And 2, are you light or deep? So this should actually, out of all of the 12, 16, and 23 season palettes, this is the easiest one to determine which category you fall into. And we'll have to get a little more detailed later on, but everybody starts with these 4 main seasons. Now for the 12 season palettes, we're actually adding in contrast. So we're going to be looking at the contrast for low contrast. Those are the soft, muted, blended colors in the seasons that have those. And then medium contrast has rich, medium intensity colors seasons. And then the high contrast folks can handle those vivid, bold, clear colors. So that should start to make sense to you on how they're dividing up these seasons. So now you have to ask yourself 3 questions when you are looking at the 12 seasons. Are you warm or cool? Are you light or deep? And now we've added in, are you low, soft or muted, it's often called, contrast, or high, which they also call bright or clear contrast. The combination of answers to each question determines what your season is. So now we're into the kind of cheerful flower power division of the 4 seasons, but you see now that we have 3 sections to each of the 4 seasons. We have a version of light, we have a version of mid-tone and warm, and we have the bright or clear, and those are the bolder colors. So each season has kind of a version of that. Autumn and summer have soft, muted seasons, and those winter and spring have lighter colors, but they don't have a muted color. Here's a chart that shows you how all of the different main colors play out in each of those 12 seasons. It's really quite helpful. You start on the very left-hand side and you just see the actual straight color listed. And then next to it you can see all the variants depending on the different season subcategory. So as we move on to 16 seasons palette, you can see the transition now, starting with the 4, moving on to the 12. Now the 16 season palette adds 4 new seasons, sub-seasons I should say. These are the unicorns. These are people who have slightly different coloring than the bulk majority of the people that they made the 12 and the 4 seasons for. We have soft spring, soft winter, clear autumn, and clear summer. And a lot of the systems that refer to the 16 season system will call them all clear. It's quite an interesting process. And you do have to ask yourself those 3 questions once again. Am I warm or am I cool? Am I light or am I deep? And what is my contrast level? And there is a chart here. I've got a couple of different variants to help you assimilate into how these 16 seasons work. But you can see the basics, the bright, the true, the light, and the warm for spring. And then summer we have light, true, soft, and cool. For autumn we have soft, true, deep, and warm. And then winter we have cool, true, bright, and deep. Now we move on to the 23 color system analysis. This is really for advanced experience level analysts and people who are truly wanting some very detailed color analysis. This also includes the flow seasons, which are seasons that go between the seasons, and they also include the neutral palette, which is a palette that is supposed to be something that almost everybody can wear. I also want to remind you that makeup is a huge part of how your face presents, so you want to make sure you stay cohesive with cool tone or warm tone or neutral makeup to make sure that your look all comes together. When I was classified as a spring, I was a golden girl. I was living in LA. I had dyed my hair golden blonde. I was getting tans, so I had a tan. I used to go to the tanning salon, and I had a tan, and I had golden blonde hair, blue eyes. I had a bubbly personality, and I was wearing an orange shirt when I went into this Let's Go Get Our Colors group meeting. And the analyst, I don't think she was trained well enough to spot the fact that something was off. But what they did was they had us sit down in a group. They had like the other 4 of them sat here in front of me. I sat in like a barber chair, and the analyst draped me, and then she'd come around and look, and then they would ooh and ah over the colors they thought were the best. Now, ironically, a lot of the summer colors they performed well for me. And yet I had that golden blonde hair, which wasn't my natural hair color, and I had, it was a tan, so I looked golden. I was a golden girl. I was living in LA. I mean, guy. So she said I was a spring, and she gave me the little clear wallet with all the swatches in it and said, "You're a spring, and now you can shop all those colors for the rest of your life." And I did. For 41 years, I have been shopping spring colors and dyeing my hair golden blonde, and it looks off. I feel like I have to work harder, and it looks harsher, to try to pull off that warm-toned, bold colors of spring. I'm not a spring. was watching TV and the YouTube channel on my streaming TV, and on came Color Class. And that is a mother and daughter team. Lucinda is the mom and Sarah is the daughter. They are color analysts. Lucinda was one of the original Color Me Beautiful analysts. She started in the 90s as a Color Me Beautiful analyst. And she worked with Carol Jackson. She knows Carol Jackson and talks to her. They're friends. And she has been doing this for many, many years. Her daughter Sarah is kind of also analyzing from a youthful perspective. And she has dark red hair and a cooler skin tone, which is an unusual combination. And what Color Class specializes in is people who can't be pigeonholed into one of 4 seasons, or there's something unusual about their coloring or their hair or their skin color or their undertone, olive tones, neutral people. And Lucinda said something interesting, and this perked me up, and this changed my life 2 months ago. She said, I was an autumn, and my hair went white, and my skin paled out and neutralized, it cooled off. Cool tone skin looks better in soft summer shades. Now, soft summer is kind of on the border between warmer season like autumn. Soft autumn is the sister season to soft summer. And it's kind of for neutrals. It's for people who used to be warm that have cooled off a little bit. They go to soft summer. And I feel so comfortable in the colors of soft summer. So it's a very zen moment when you realize you've been mistyped. So because of that, I'm very, very conscious of the fact that other people may be skeptical about the 4-season system or the 12-season system, the 16-season system or the 20-season system, and there's now a 23-season system. So it is really quite interesting how it's all evolved and become far more accurate and more of a science. Now, oftentimes we have a blouse that we just love to wear, and we always get compliments when we wear it. I had bought this blouse several years ago, and every time I wear it, I get compliments on it. And the thing is, this is that blouse. Now, I get compliments on it every time, but what happens is the people are looking at the blouse. So instead of this being what they're looking at, they're looking down here at this blouse. And this blouse is the star of the show. The blouse is the art piece, not the person wearing it. So be very wary of things that you like. And people compliment the thing, they compliment the blouse. They're not, your head's not going with it. This isn't my color. This is more of an olivey green. And if I wore the right makeup, I could maybe make it work, but it's not a color that works very well with me. It kind of makes me look a little pasty. And it's not, it's a warm shade. It's an autumn shade, and it's not one of mine. So when I wear this, people love the blouse. It's got a pretty arm thing that it's very delicate in the arms. It's so pretty, but it's not my color. And when I get compliments on it, it's uncomfortable because they're looking at the blouse and they're saying, that is such a pretty blouse. And I'm like, thank you. And they're like not looking here, they're looking down at the blouse. So be wary of outfits that you have that aren't in your color scheme, even though you get compliments on them because they fit you well or they're a pretty design or something. Just keep it in mind that unless they're in your color palette and they're working with your face and bringing the attention to your face, you're wearing the clothes. They aren't wearing you. You wear the clothes. You are what you want people to see and communicate with. You don't want them staring at your shirt wondering where you got it so they can get one just like it. This takes all the attention away from you and your natural beauty and your natural elegance. I mean, nothing is projecting except the blouse. So it's not working for you. Now, I have a pair of black pants that I wear in the winter, and I have a couple pairs of white pants I wear in the summer, and I am still going to do that. Now, neither one of those colors are in my color palette, but because they're not up here, they're so far away from my face, I don't care. Now, the outfits probably would look a lot more pulled together if I stayed with my own neutrals in my own palette, but it's very natural for people to gravitate towards black trousers in the winter and white trousers in the summer. It just happens. And I'm going to keep doing it. So I don't worry about that. So if you're transitioning your wardrobe and you want to, invest some money, invest in the tops, invest in your hair color, invest in your jewelry and your scarves and your tops. Don't worry about your pants, your trousers. Pants means something else over there in the UK, doesn't it? I got into trouble once when I said something about the cute pants. Anyway, yeah, it's a very, very interesting thing to have color analysis be so popular again. I love it. I love that people are really embracing it. They're going to get their colors done. Now the pricing is very different. I mean, when I had mine done in 1985, it was $30 if you went on your own. It was $25 if you went in a group. So things have changed. I think the pricing is between $300 and $500 now for a color analyst. And some of them actually take it further. They'll go into makeup. They'll give you a quick makeup lesson. They also offer to sell makeup. Or they will also do styling. They can do personal shopping, personal styling for you. They can come over and look at your closet and tell you outfits to put together or what you would need to purchase to make a nice capsule wardrobe in your season. There's a lot of new services that are available that are all related to this color analysis. I think people are going to shop smarter, and they're going to be able to control spending. Pay attention to your hair color, pay attention to your makeup, your lipstick, your jewelry. Isn't this pretty, actually? I like this. My T-Rex. And the colors that you're wearing in your top. And like I said, you don't have to invest a lot of money in your wardrobe. You probably do have some colors that will work really nicely for you. And those 4 colors, the watermelon, the teal, the purple, and the navy, will work for you no matter who you are. So you can get those for starts, for a good base wardrobe. Get those colors in tops or jackets or coats. And remember the eyeglass thing. When in doubt, go clear. They have different frames. You clear will not steer you wrong. They will not take away from your natural beauty. They will not clash with your season. Clear eyeglass frames when in doubt. If you know your season, you can, have some fun with it. And it'll look right. It'll look like you're supposed to be wearing that color. This one is a combination of summer colors. And then this one is the gray. So, hopefully that's been helpful. AI is quite popular online, and a lot of people are turning to AI color analysis. Some of them are free, and some of them wait until you get all the way to the end to tell you that it will only cost you $1, and then they want your credit card. And then I would not definitely not recommend that. My experience with AI technology as far as color analysis goes was not very positive. Although there did seem to be a lot of them that confirmed I was a soft summer, I actually was diagnosed 4 different seasons by the same app just by answering one of the questions differently each time. And they were way off, way off. Oh, goodness. One of them wanted me to pay before they could continue. One wanted my email to send it to me, and they wouldn't do it till I paid. One told me the process, I got up to 98% and it wouldn't go any further. One was really nice, and that was a store, and it was a store that sold clothing. And they told me, that I was a clear spring and that these colors would not be very flattering on me for clothing, which I thought was a kind, gentle way. These things are very dependent on the photograph that you send. Now, if you have bad lighting or poor pixelation on your photograph, or you photograph with anything other than natural lighting, or if it's a particularly sunny day or a particularly overcast day, you may get a different reading from an AI computer. I don't want to put them down completely because I know that they have accurate parameters that they're working on, but it's an imperfect process on your end when you're taking the photos that they have to analyze. Also, one place asked me to send them 3 photos, one close-up of my eyes and 2 other ones in different lighting. And they got my email address and they got my name, and then I never got anything from them. And I was thinking that's a great way to do some ID theft online. Nothing beats a real analyst, a sit-down session. And Color Class actually does a sit-down Zoom call, and they do an extremely detailed book on you. I think it's a bound book, and they go over all the colors for you. Even if they're not in your technical season, they will find colors in other seasons that you can borrow. It's probably the most accurate and intricate of all of the color analysis processes. I believe they charge around $500 for that service. Now, regular analysts will charge, I think House of Color charges $325 to $350, and Color Me Beautiful is around that same line. The International Image is closer to $500 also. But you can find very good local color analysts, and if you do Google in your area, you're going to find some from House of Color and also Color Me Beautiful, and there will be some private ones. So I think it's a great idea, and if you have the money to do this, it's an investment in your future, because it's really hard to look at yourself objectively and do your own colors. I mean, look what I did. I thought I was a spring for 41 years, and I was looking at myself lovingly with the light orange colors on, not realizing how bad they made me look. Oh, goodness. If you're in the thrift store, you can just buy things because they're really cheap, and on Senior Day, which is Tuesday at Savers, it's 30% off things. And there are some great tools that are provided. You can get them on Amazon, or you can order them from the Color Me Beautiful site. I personally love the color fans. I think the color fans are a great way to hold up the color to the fabric you're looking at, and you can tell if it matches or not, or if it's at least in the same ballpark, color wise. And when you're in all these places that have dim lighting, like there's a single bulb hanging from a wire in a warehouse in some of these thrift stores, especially, even in Sephora, you've gone into Sephora, you swatch a lipstick on your hand, it looks so pretty, you buy it. You open up the box, you put it on in your car in natural lighting, it looks like a completely different color. And you're like, oh, this doesn't look like what I swatched in the store. I wonder if it's the wrong color, you know. And it's the right color, it's just the lighting is so different. So it's good to have a swatch fan that can show you exact color under the same lighting. It's hitting that the same light, it's hitting the fabric, so you can tell easier if something's going to match you. So I do highly recommend that you get a color fan. Now this is a color fan from Color Me Beautiful, and it's the summer season. And it's really nice because you can hold this up to a, let me find the color here. You can hold it up to your clothing. When you're in the thrift store or whatever, you can hold it up and you can see if it matches, if it blends in. And I love having a tool like this that's so easy to use. I mean, and I rearranged it. It's got a little bolt here with a screw, and you can unscrew it and you can arrange these colors any way you want. It's got your silver, you know, for your silver jewelry, and then I've got all the pinks and roses there. And when you're in a thrift store and you see a lot of them will organize their clothing by color, not by size, by color, and you see just a sea of different pinks. So this will really help you unravel that mystery. To get the right color undertone for the pink is really important, because it's so easy, especially when you're looking at pinks in this kind of range, to get the wrong undertone of pink. I could wind up getting something that's too yellow, because this is something that's it's a muted pink. So you know, I don't want to get anything that's too yellow, because then it won't work with my coloring and bring out my best features. So it's good to have something like this to help with the colors. Really a great tool to have, especially if you do thrift shopping. Now if you're buying makeup, it's really nice for lipsticks, things like that. You can see if you're going too far off the beaten trail. Now second is these things. These came in a set of all 12 of the seasons. The 3 springs. We have the light, the true, and the bright. So on one side you've got kind of the cooler tones, and on the other side you have the warmer tones. So there's a lot of colors here. And they're pretty accurate. I mean, you can, let me just find the summer one here so I can show you. They have the winter ones, both sides, and then we have summer. I keep the soft summer with me because soft summer has additional colors that the fan doesn't have, so I bring the soft summer with me, and also soft autumn, because I can borrow some colors from there sometimes. But with these summers, I want to show you. You can see this blue right here fits in perfectly. So these little dots, this is so convenient. You just put this on a keychain and bring it with you. And the dots show in 2 sides, so you've got a lot of colors here. And this, I mean, this set I think was $12 to $14. I forget what it was, but you've got all 3 subdivisions for all the seasons. I gave away 2 of my autumns to a friend of mine, so I don't have the autumn ones to show you, but I have soft autumn and soft summer here because I use them to borrow from. So these tools are just priceless. Now this one runs probably about $40. It's very similar to the old ones they used to have. This is my spring palette. It's rounded on the edges, but the cards are pretty much the same size. but these were rounded on the edges, and some of them were actually fabric covered, which I really like the fabric covered, but yeah, they're very similar. They're just shaped a little different now. They're rectangular, and they're not as small as paint chips. They're a little larger than paint chips, which I like because I like to hold things up, you know, to the whole and see a little more of it, especially when there's a heavy design or something. But this is great when you're selecting lipsticks and eyeshadows and things like that. You can really do a good job with organizing your stuff with something like this. And with these as a complement, what's also nice is you can see a color that maybe you don't have in your palette, and you can look and see what palette it actually is in, you know. It's like, is that a winter or is that a summer, you know, and you can kind of have a look, because Deep Winter has some very light shades in it. It was surprised me how they're bright, but they're light shades, and it's like Deep Winter. I'm like, ooh, you know. So it's kind of fun. These are fun, these little things with the dots, and I think they're one of the best bargains for color analysis that is out there. But so there are a lot of books out about color analysis. I really liked this one because it's got huge colorful pages of the best and the worst colors for you. And for each season, it'll tell you your best colors, it'll tell you your worst colors if you are grouped in those seasons. And it's very, very good. It's very inclusive as far as skin tones go. I think this is an excellent book. It's called Personal Color. You can find that on Amazon. I always looked in thrift books first online because they have a lot of secondhand books. And you know, for information like that, it doesn't matter if it's in good condition, you can really get a bargain on it. My favorite Color Me Beautiful type book is this Color Me Beautiful's Looking Your Best. This has a lot of styling ideas, but they're from the 90s. But it has the it talks about hairstyles, but I love this. This is a makeup chart. And the makeup chart goes over eyeliners, eyeshadows, lip liners, lipsticks, foundation colors. Really, really nice book. It also goes over, you know, each season of the 12 seasons, and you can see the subtle differences in each. I really like this particular book. Of course, the original is a wonderful book as well, and it does explain the basics of seasonal analysis. Now, a lot of this information is dated, and she does not go over contrast very well. And the styling in this is, you know, from 1980. But she's got the best, this book has the best color pictures in there. So you can take a picture of this with your phone, take it shopping with you, if you don't want a spring for the fan. But I still think the fan is the best thing. But this is worth it for these color things. You can really get a good idea of, you know, the color seasons, the main 4 seasons. Now you can borrow from any of the other subdivisions in your season for colors, but your best colors are going to be the ones in your subdivision. But you can, if you make a mistake and buy something like in light summer, if you're a soft summer and you happen to buy something in the light summer or the true summer, it's okay. It's still going to look okay. It may not be your best color, but it may work for you really well, depending on your eye makeup, your if you've got a tan or not, you know, what else you're wearing with it. So it can really work to your benefit to borrow from, you know, your other sub-seasons. So this is a wonderful book, and this one is an unusual one, and this brought up an interesting thing, and it actually was the thing that made me realize I was not a spring. David Zyla is a designer, and he attached personality types with each of the seasons, and he named them different than the 12 seasons are named by the Color Me Beautiful system. He attached personalities and then certain colors within that season that bring out aspects of personalities. And he thought that the best way to pull colors was to look at your iris of your eye close up. So you take a picture of your eyes and then you zoom in on the iris. Try to get a clear picture if you can. Like, there's lots of colors in there, and he said pull out the darkest shade, pull out the lightest shade in your eyes, and then the inside of your hand. He thought that all of the colors that are located on the inside of your hand will give you a good indicator as to what will make you look pretty on the outside. And you can find like 20 colors. He'll ask you for the top 5 colors you see, and then he'll say, do you have any warm colors? Are there any cool colors? What are they? And it's kind of amazing. I found out this thing. But I ran across online an eye chart, and it's an eye chart of cool tone eyes. And there was, I mean, eyes are all individual, just like fingerprints. Eyes, there's no two sets alike. But there's similar eyes to what yours look like, and similar eyes to what my eye looks like, and it sure looks like my iris is cool tone. My iris says that I'm a cool tone person. Now the spring and the warm tone eyes look different. And I mean, there were just like so many truths that came out to me as far as what my season was. It was just unbelievable that I didn't pick up on this sooner. And you know, it's funny, I've been trying to kind of fake it till you make it my whole life, my whole 41 years now. I have been trying to pull off spring colors, and I've been gravitating towards summer colors. So I do highly recommend you try a couple of these tests. They're a lot of fun, and you will really benefit from it. Your wardrobe will benefit, your makeup will benefit, your jewelry. If you've got colored earrings, you're going to catch it so that you're wearing things that truly complement you and bring out your natural beauty. Now, I know a lot of you are probably surprised that I wasn't a spring. I was like, I really fooled you guys. I fooled myself for 41 years. 41 years wearing the wrong color season of clothes on purpose. Wearing a color season on purpose, and it wasn't doing a thing for me. And you know what's weird is one of my husbands, I forget which one, said something to me about, are you sure that's one of your colors? Because you don't look, I don't think it was working for you. And I think it was the mustard. The mustard never worked for me. But it was one of the spring colors, so I forced myself to buy mustard and use it in outfits. And it absolutely was terrible. It was one of the worst colors I ever wore. Oh, well. We're all educated now, and you can learn from my mistakes, and actually you can learn from my research as well. If you have any kind of color analysis experiences, or if you had your colors done, I'd love to hear about it. And are you still buying your own color palette? Or am I going to get the comments, I just wear what I want, I buy what I want, or some smarty aleck is going to say, oh, black works for every season for me. And it's like, okay, goth girl. I think that dressing and looking our best and putting our best foot forward, regardless of our age, regardless of our body image, regardless of our station in life, we should be putting our best foot forward. It's about self-respect. It's about your own personal dignity, and your own confidence will be elevated if you look the best you can and present to the world who you want to present to the world. Don't just buy a crazy outfit and have everybody look at the outfit and miss who you are, because you're the beauty and you are the art piece. Thusly. So I have a frame in my own season now. With that, everybody have a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles. That being said, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Take care, everybody. Toodles.